next we have Gloriana Guillén.
Yes, that's right.
Who's with ProMujer, which is one of my favorite microfinance networks. ProMujer is a 18-year-old Latin American-focused microfinance network that focuses on developing women specifically. And prior to ProMujer, Gloriana was at Oxfam in Great Britain. And prior to that, she was the Latin American manager for the Discovery Channel. And before that, she was the Latin Katie Couric, an anchor and research journalist for Costa Rican television. So let's welcome our very own Latin Katie Couric.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Thank you very much to all of you for coming. Thanks. I also want to thank the Silicon Valley Microfinance Network, eBay, and the Global Women's Leadership Network for hosting this event and for making it happen. I'm very passionate about children's education and children's empowerment. And I can't think of a better way to empower a child, to giving education to children, than empowering women. And that's what ProMujer is all about. ProMujer is an 18-year-old organization. It was founded in Bolivia by two women, two social entrepreneurs that I admire very much, Carmen Velasco and Lynn Patterson. Lynn is a school teacher, or was a school teacher from Long Island, and Carmen was a children's psychologist. And they were working together on a food program in La Paz. And they realized that giving the food was not enough, that it was important to provide women with training. So they invited the women to meet different places and receive training in areas that they were very good at. So empowerment, nutrition, childhood education. And when the program ran out of funds, the women came back to them and said, don't leave us. We need help, but we need access to credit. We need a loan. And so, knowing nothing about microfinance, they went to Bangladesh, spent time with Mohammed Yunus, learned about village banking, came back to Bolivia, and added the microfinance component. In time, they also realized that most of these women are not aware of the importance of taking care of their own health, or they simply don't have access to affordable health care. And if you are sick, you cannot see for yourself, your family, your business, or repay the loan. So they added the healthcare component. And this is very important to say so that you understand how we got engaged into healthcare, microfinance, and training. Because ProMujer's mission is to provide poor women entrepreneurs in Latin America with access to credit, savings accounts, healthcare, and training. And so for us, microfinance is not an end. It's a means. It's a platform to deliver other services. As I said, healthcare and training. Okay, let's see. So I've already mentioned to you why women. That's one of our focus. We also focus on very poor communities. We loan to women who want to start a business or expand an existing business. The average loan is about $200, but loans start as low as $30. And by business is what I mean. They have a small stand in the market. Sewing is another business. In Lake Titicaca in Peru, they fish trout, so they get loans to buy the cages to catch the trout. So these are the type of businesses these women engage with. We are in 5 countries in Latin America. We have MFIs in Nicaragua, Bolivia, Peru, Mexico, and Argentina, and 4 of the 5 MFIs are self-sustainable. We use the village banking methodology, so women co-guarantee their loans. Women meet typically twice a month at a neighborhood centers, and They receive training there. We also have doctors and nurses in Bolivia and Nicaragua, and in the other countries we have established alliances with healthcare providers. ProMujer is committed to helping alleviate poverty through the empowerment of women. Now for us, the empowerment of women is essential, and we encourage them to develop their full potential, to be aware of their human rights, to raise their self-esteem. We use two strategies. One is education. We provide them with training workshops and group discussions so that they can be aware of their own rights. They have access to legal counseling, and they also have access to vocational training programs and education. And the other strategy, of course, is that they become empowered as they become more active in their communal banks and as they are able to repay the loan. So if I get a loan, I have 4 months to repay that loan. If I pay the loan, then I get a higher loan, and that's how I start building the credit history, because as a client, I don't have any collateral to join the group. Now, the last part of the presentation is the loan officers. And I've been to many events and presentations on microfinance, and I always hear about the clients. Of course, it's very important, but I've never heard about the loan officers. And so I just want to commend Tracy and Sarita for, they are the ones who said, you know, if you have loan officers in your staff, just tell us a story about a loan officer or talk about them. And I think it's essential because they are leaders as well. And they are the people who communicate directly with the clients and who build their trust, and that helps them to develop long-lasting relationships. So on your left, you have a loan officer in Nicaragua. We provide services to rural areas, and we bought the motorcycles. So they learn how to use a motorcycle. Most of the loan officers are women, and they speak the local language in the community. So imagine, I'm from Costa Rica, we're neighbors. It rains 9 months of the year, cats and dogs. So when it's the rainy season, it gets very muddy, but they ride their motorcycles to be able to reach out to the women who otherwise wouldn't be able to come to us. So I think that's extremely important. I'd like to just to introduce you to, well, this is in Peru. We just expanded to rural areas in Peru. So meet Magali. Magali is a loan officer from ProMujer, Mexico. She's 24 years old. She's been with ProMujer for 2 years. She's responsible for 30 communal banks. Each communal bank has approximately 20 women. And we interviewed her recently, and I asked her, what does it make a good loan officer? What do you need to be a good loan officer? And she said, and I'm just going to read her words, a good loan officer must understand the problems that women face. And she said, when women first come to ProMujer, they have very low self-esteem. They have very low image of themselves. I remember one woman who cried because she couldn't count the money, and she felt ashamed. By the time she made her 6th loan payment, she was able to count the money by herself. And after a while, she felt much more secure, and she radiated confidence. What's next for ProMujer? Expansion, of course. But right now, I think we're going to focus on our energy in strengthening our staff, our human resources component, which is, once again, essential, especially for the holistic approach that we have. And, of course, technology to be more efficient and more cost-effective. I look forward to your questions. Thank you very much.